What's up, guys? Been quite the long time. Been to a couple different gigs. Now that I'm at this new gig, it's kind of hard to do YouTube videos. It's a new paint line. It's Sickens, which is Axo Nobel, and I'm really not the best in it to be doing YouTube videos, but I decided to do a YouTube video on this little side project I had. I'm gonna be spraying some PPG Deltron. The color's already mixed, and the guy brought me the color. It's a Lamborghini color. This is an MR2. He had it repainted already, so they had some cracking mud here and a few other spots that I just fixed up. Like I said, I have the color already. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to spray this PPG solvent, which is pretty much like all solvents. Paint is paint, you know what I mean? And really happy to be back, and I'm really happy if you're here with me, so let's do it. Got this all masked up, obviously. I haven't wiped down, you didn't see that part. I tacked it off already, and then I used my anti-static gun from Luma 3. Lastly, just to make sure I don't have any nibs that are floating in the air, land on it or anything like that, just to keep my job as clean as possible. So we'll jump straight into the base. I'll finish this UV primer in 600, and then the other spots that I sanded out because it was like some small scratches, I'll finish those at 800 so I can go straight to base. For base, I'm using the Luma 3 Exodus. This is their 1.3 with the Sun Pro light. I have questions all the time on how to set up a new gun. I like to personally run with everything wide open, but it's kind of personal preference. I've opened everything all the way up, and then I just tighten this until I feel pressure on the back of the trigger, and that's how you know it's right at the edge of it being open all the way up. I open the fan all the way until it doesn't open anymore, and then I twist it back just a tad bit. And then solvents Solvents are thinner than waterborne, so solvents I'll do anywhere from like 21 to 23, maybe 24, and then waterborne I'll do 24 to 26. So let's go ahead and get some base on this. Pretty sure it's gonna take multiple coats just because we're not using sealer, but that's okay. That's pretty much the first coat. Went on a little dry, so I kind of went back over it real quick with like kind of a wet on wet. Still want to make sure it dries in between coats. It's probably going to take multiple coats, like I said, and that's just because I didn't use sealer, which helps you use less base. But we'll throw 2 or 3 coats on it and see what it looks like with our spotlight, and then go from there. Alrighty, that's kind of what you want to do. We'll come back with our spotlight once this is dry in about 5 minutes. We'll set a timer on our phone, and then we'll come back, and once it's dry, we'll just look it over and make sure that we don't see anything that's not covered. Even though this color has been mixed and this is a custom car, so most of the time we blend colors out because the colors are never 100% exact. This color can be 100% exact since the car was already painted from PPG, and you know, he already knows the variant. The only difference would be is how I apply it. Sometimes if you apply too much base, it can be darker, or not enough, it can be lighter. So you want to watch the tape, and you see how I don't have a lot of base actually on the tape. You still kind of want to blend it out as best as you can. I've stopped in panels before because the color was the exact same, and I just stopped, and the panel instead of flicking, sometimes you can see right where you stop at. So it's just always best to repeat the same process no matter what. Blend it out, you know what I mean? And you can see we didn't even get really that close to the door. So this shouldn't be too much it shouldn't be any different colors, you know what I mean? So I think I like this a lot. I might apply one more coat. Again, set a timer for about 5 minutes, come in, and then we'll check it with the light and see what it looks like. All right, and I'm not sure Not really sure how well you can see on camera, but it's pretty much covered. I like looking for a whole bunch of different angles, because sometimes you might not see it from one angle, but you'll see it from the next. But everything looks really, really good. You also want to check your edges. Looks like we got a little bit of a bare edge right here, so I'll hit that. All right, like I said, this is fully covered. We're gonna wait 5 minutes, like I said, just so I can make sure I can tack it off and make sure there's no any dry overspray anywhere to make it look a little bit dirty. So I'll come back to you in 5 minutes when I have my clear mixed up and I'm ready to tack it off and clear it. Alrighty, our 5 minutes is up and everything is dry. You can always tell or check with the tape. As long as the tape is dry, the panel's probably dry as well. I don't like using these crystal tack rags for my final tack. I like using, I think these are some Centara tack rags. You gotta kind of pull them apart to activate them. You can see they kind of pull apart, but they're a lot less waxier than those crystal tack rags, and they won't leave fish eyes. So we'll go ahead and wipe this just to make sure there's not any dry overspray. Looks like there was a little bit on there, so that's all good. Now we should be ready for clear coat. All right, and lastly for clear coat, I'm using the Exodus. This is the 1.5 OP. I love everything pretty much Luma 3. I even have the paint suit. So I appreciate it if you made it this far. I appreciate you if you watch me, if you sub to me, because I never would have thought it would be important to anybody besides myself. I'm so thankful, and I always appreciate you. And if you don't subscribe, go ahead and hit that subscribe for me and make my day. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time, guys. I should probably tell you, I shoot my clear at like 28 to 30 PSI, depending on how it's atomizing. You kind of want real fine drops. You don't want real big basketball size. It's kind of a go with the flow type moment, but if you aim for like 28 to 30 PSI most of the time, it'll come out glass for the most part. I always lay my first coat how I want the whole thing to look. So let's go ahead and do it, and hopefully it comes out okay.